Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another riveting edition of Be More. You like the way I say that, don't you? Even if not, I do. So hopefully you do as well. We have a great conversation for you today. And I did say we because it is not just a me. We're also joined today by the one, the only Shawanna Kennedy of Kennedy Media, and she'll be back with us after this.
Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire.
Okay, let's not belabor the point anymore. You know her. I know her. We love her. Shawanna Kennedy, show yourself.
Hello, hello. I'm excited, y'all. Hey. Yes, y'all already know. Look, I'm one of y'all friends at this point, right? Let's get into this conversation. Come on, Dr. Tachi.
Oh, I'm ready for this conversation. I am so ready for this conversation. But first of all, in case you noticed that we are twinning today, it was not planned. That's just what synergy and being on the same plane does. You kind of automatically gravitate towards something. That or black is the easiest thing to wear, but it is what it is. And because
it's my favorite color. It's my favorite color.
It's so easy. It goes with everything. It's like, if I have like the same shirt, this linen in a few other colors, but this is the one that if it's wrinkled, it won't show. It just is the character of it. So you just kind of grab it. And speaking of black and what we're wearing, we are actually talking a little bit of fashion today. So we are getting our fashion lessons in and tying that to video, live stream, and content. Are we not?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Good. So let's get to it. Okay. So I'm so excited to talk about this because fashion is my other passion, rhyme intended. And I love a chance to be able to talk about fashion and fragrance and makeup and all those types of things whenever I can. And what better way than to tie it to what we do, right? Because all of that is included and is important in this whole world, right? The makeup, clothing, all that. It's part and parcel of it. So I'm excited to talk about this bag designer, and I'm going to pop them up on the screen. You guys will see later these bags. Pierre Laborde is a Haitian-born, Brooklyn-based bag designer. He went to FIT. He then later transitioned into making bags after I read an interview where he said that about the industry and the fashion industry, the hecticness of it. And so he transitioned into making bags, and he's been doing so for several years. Don't get me wrong. I want to say it's at least 10 to 15 years he's been doing it regularly, if not longer, right? But there are people who have several of his collections, and he usually does these flea markets in, is it Manhattan or Brooklyn?
I believe it's Brooklyn.
I think it's Brooklyn. So I think he's done some Manhattan markets in the past before too, but he does this, it's called, is it the Grand Bazaar? I'll put the name at the bottom of the screen. So he does that on a monthly basis. And what ended up happening is they got really popular and went viral because I believe a couple of celebrities started wearing them or donning them. And so now everybody has got to have a Pierre Laborde bag. And I see why. When you see the bags, you're going to know why. They're gorgeous leather, all handmade. They're just beautiful. And I love a good leather bag. So they're all handmade. They've gotten really popular. And so when he does the monthly things at the Brooklyn, the flea market, the Grand Bazaar, and you have to get a number, I believe, when you're in line and that type of thing. So they did a drop on Sunday, April, whatever Sunday's date was.
12th. April 12th.
Thank you. So Sunday, April 12th. Thank you. They did a drop where he was going to put the bags that he had online. Now, there were 170 bags. How do I know this? Because I was one of the unfortunate individuals like this. Listen, 12 noon, the website was going live with the bags. 11:50, I was like this, and I did not move because I was waiting I just like this, like a cat. I was just like that, and I was not going to move. Okay, so 12 noon comes. I'm trying vigorously to get a bag, any bag, but this is the thing that I noticed. And now I'm going to let you weigh in because I've been talking, giving the background. I was trying to get anything, but the thing that I noticed was that I was not able to get to the bags quickly because it was just, you had to scroll through to see everything. They were not necessarily grouped in any particular order that I could see. And part of the thing is we did not have the opportunity to view the bags ahead of time. And I'm actually okay with that. That's fine, I guess. But it made it a little harder to know what you wanted. The other thing that I noticed is that when you clicked on something, if you put it in your cart, it did not seem like it was locked, meaning that somebody else could go and grab that bag despite the fact that it was in your cart. Well, as you can imagine, Wahala and chaos ensued. And if you went to, of course, I was looking at his Instagram page to see what was going on. All of these comments about what was happening. This isn't fair and blah, 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 blah. And you should do this. And I wish it. So weigh in. I talked to you about this offline. Weigh in on your thoughts, especially since you are all about branding and visibility.
Here is the thing when I think about all this, because what happens is, see, I love that he did that though, because the way it went out, and when you look online, just at first glance, you do not see that something is coming. How many times do we know? And if it, I don't care if it's a article of clothing, a bag, even a celebrity with a drop, it's about the exposure not being the goal, but then the preparedness. When we think about what happened here, recently, it was the preparedness. And that's why this conversation is going to be so needed and necessary, because if we're looking and asking and wanting and having people on tiptoe anticipation, because that's what I felt, even knowing that you were one of the people basically on the virtual standby. I mean, I could just imagine a cat. So I hope you pop one in there. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. That people really do be waiting when they know about you. Here's the thing. When people are known, when people have been trusted, when people have a reputation, right? And especially for quality, that means people are ready. Whenever you say go, they're there. However, are we ready? Are we really ready? Are we prepared for that exposure? Are we ready? And what happens when we're not? Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. And what our good friend Gwendolyn, she said underneath one of our recent posts that we did, she loves how we take everyday things and are able to relate them to video, media, live streaming, and content. And I do too. I really enjoy these conversations. And I have to thank you, because it was you who wanted me to start talking about this. So I said, oh, no problem. You can come along for the ride too.
Hey, and as you can see, guys, I'm riding.
Oh, for several episodes.
Oh wait, no, because I'll be you. There we go. Because I'm not doing no motorcycle. You know, that's the steering
I thought that was
wheel
a horse. Okay.
Oh, you're right. Okay, that's good too.
Yeah,
That's good too.
That's good too. Let people think you're an equestrian. Let them imagine. Okay. So let's get into this. I think this is so important because
are you ready? Are you
ready? The thing is, are you ready for the sale? Are you ready for the attention that is going to come because of whatever you have? So you've made a video, whether it's a video to promote something you're doing, like a course, your business, etc., or whether or not your business is the video. Your business is making content. You're a content creator. Great. You've put that out there, but are you ready? And do you have the capacity to actually accept all the attention and possible sales, depending on what you're doing, that will come from that? Right? So go ahead, Shawanna. I see you itching to talk.
No, because when you said capacity is a great word. Capacity is a great word because for some people, they can handle the hundreds, they can handle the thousands. But for some people, your capacity, based off what you do in your day-to-day life, your capacity might be 3, it might be 10. So here's the thing, when you get ready to go to launch or even go viral, people, they will celebrate you. people are going to critique you, and they're definitely going to question you. So you better be ready to handle it emotionally and professionally when you start to get this attention. And it doesn't matter what you do or who you are. You have to be ready, because if you're saying yes, you already know, if you know me, being seen, known, paid, and looked at, right, for what you do, your expertise, your brilliance, it's like, are you really ready? Because you could actually blow up before you ever go up. And so that's why I'm loving this conversation that we're going to have today. Let's get into it.
So being ready and having the capacity is really important, because everyone you put your things out there because you either want to make the sale, you want to get clients, you want people to watch your videos, your live streams, whatever it is, you want that attention. But are you ready for all the attention? Do you have the capacity to handle that? So one of the things that is a litmus test in terms of that is your systems. Do you have the systems, the SOPs, standard operating procedures in place for you to be able to handle that? Okay, so let's go back to our good friend Laborde. And by the way, this is not a rebuke of Laborde at all. I love it, and I can't wait to get my bag. If you're watching, dear Pierre, I can't wait to get my bag, because this video would have been an unboxing video had I gotten the bag, but that's okay. I didn't, but I'm holding out hope that I will. So when you went on, as I said, people could snatch things out of your shopping cart or your shopping bag. It didn't seem like it was locked down. The way that the website, and you looked at the website, so you can speak a little bit to that, because you deal with websites a little bit. The way the website was, as I said, you had to scroll through to really see what was there. We did not have, and like I said, I was okay with it, but I would have loved to have a preview. And here's a good example. So today, the collection between Old Navy and Christopher John Rogers dropped. And for those of you who don't know, Christopher John Rogers has done he's an excellent designer. He's done several collabs with different stores, etc. And he's known for bright and colorful. People love his stuff. Okay, so they did a drop today, Old Navy. Now, first of all, that's different because he's not hand sewing every one, and I realize that, definitely. But this is what could have happened. They did a preview of the pieces, and who was modeling it? Kimora Lee Simmons. Well, she's dropped the Simmons now. I think she's just Kimora Lee, and her two daughters, Ming and Aoki. So they were the models for this, all on the site and ahead of time. So they did a preview on the site, and I'm sure on social media, etc., showing some of the pieces that you could get. It was open to Old Navy card holders. Was it 12 hours ahead of time? But anyway, ahead of time. And then the rest of us got it, right? So I got on the site this morning. Yeah, some of these pieces were sold out. And I don't know what time it went live, whether it went live at midnight or what time, but it went live, and some of the pieces were sold out, but there were enough. Now, again, I cannot compare the two because Pierre Laborde is an individual making them by hand, handcrafted. And at this point, Christopher John Rogers they're being produced for him, right? Even though he designed it, they're being produced for him. But the thing that could have crossed over is the preview. So had there been a preview, which is part of your operating procedures and the way you do things, we could have seen and then been better informed of what was available, so that you can go and try to get what was available. Because what ended up happening is people were like, let me just get anything. And they were just like clicking around, and it felt a little bit chaotic. Your thoughts on this?
I actually have a couple of thoughts, because part of what you said when you were talking about Old Navy, what popped into my mind, and everybody loved them, the majority anyway, is when you think about candles. You know, they typically give, for people who buy, you actually get in a wait. You get, even online, there is a wait. You're waiting online and saying you're next up to allow you to be let in to start shopping. We know that's usually typically around the holidays or whenever they're doing some special sale. To me, it's really getting rid of old inventory before they bring new stuff in. But depending on who you are, And I know we're going to talk about that later in when we're talking about our next thought. But some people, though, with your reputation, and if you keep your ear to the ground and you're scrolling, because this is what happens when you brought it to my attention. And I even went on IG and found it. Unless you really did some looking and unless you are a fan, you honestly, I guarantee you there were some people who missed it. So based on what you are, who you do, what you do, your exposure, the people that trust you, they kind of stay on standby. Matter of fact, they actually have their notifications turned on as it relates to you. Something to think about, because that means whenever you drop something, they're already ready. Because I guarantee you, even though Dr. Tachi said she had already been there several minutes prior, hands curled up like a cat. However, I guarantee there were people that probably slept with their mouse hovered over to ready to order. So what does that look like for you and your business and your brand when you say, I'm going to launch, or I'm just going to do a quick drop, or I'm going to do a pop-up, because that happens too. And that's also a thing. So when you're building your visibility, when you're building your brand, what does that look like if you did have a pop-up? Are you ready, or what do you believe that you need to give people enough notice so that they can be ready, and so that you don't have people to lack trust with you? Because to me, it was more than just a tech issue. It was a trust issue. Especially, we have to be mindful, because sometimes if our infrastructure is not in order, we lose credibility, and you don't want to lose credibility. Now, mind you, his faithful customers, some people were in a tizzy, and if you read the comment, they were fired up and they were hot. But I guarantee you, if the man went back on the same weekend, he would sell out again. Now, can your business withstand that, though? That's the real question. Let's go deeper, Dr. Tachi.
Absolutely. All of that is spot on. Can you withstand that? So it's a lot to do with your reputation as well. As you said, the trust, it's this reputation management. Because here's the other thing. Are you ready? Everybody wants to go viral. And I'm not saying he does, because in fact, there's a statement that I'll read. They put out I've been stalking ever since to see what people have said. So they put out a story on Instagram, and they did an Instagram story talking about this. And so I'll read that shortly. But are you even ready to go viral, even though that may be what you want? That's not necessarily what he wants, but sometimes you have to stay a little bit more boutique. Sometimes you have to keep it small until you are ready to do that. And that means that maybe, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I want one so dearly, but maybe doing a website drop when you have so few. Remember, the internet is open to everyone. So if you only have very limited stock, and they did say they had limited stock, but limited could mean 1,000. Limited could mean 50. There's a wide range of what that means. So now you're opening with very limited stock. And as I said, it was 170 bags that I counted on the site. And if there were more, I didn't see them. But you have that limited amount of that, and there were probably thousands of people who tried to get this, right? So there is a reputation thing. And again, the diehards always know, but this is more so if you're trying to get new viewers, new customers. It's difficult to do that when their first time was a disappointment.
Yeah. Because it becomes costly, like you said, with the client, with the customer. And just imagine if you're already a client, as in this case, a previous shopper, someone who talks up, speaks the brand, carry the brand, right? But then what about the new people that would love to have had a piece? So, but I'm believing with some people, depending on who they are, they're actually okay. They are okay with where it is. And I have to, when you said about going viral, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Here is one of the funny things that happened to me. Most people that know me, they know I do social media, online visibility, all of the things with recording. Now, my daughter, I'm a mother of 3. My youngest daughter, she, with her camera, she made this it's a unique video. Okay. It's a unique video. Nothing, all body parts are in and covered, but she did it on TikTok. And because of what she was doing, it literally grabbed viral attention. And we literally watched the numbers climb, and she got over 1 million views in under 24 hours. Now, because we're talking about attention, and if you're doing things, online and you're talking about attention and going viral, this was the thing, because this particular daughter of mine, yes, she looks at social media and all the things. She'll comment, she'll like, she'll heart and put some stuff, how teenagers do, right? They'll touch their lips and do all of that. This particular video actually went viral, and she was not ready for it. Would you believe that? Having me as her mother? What? We're not ready? What are you talking about? But because she's an introvert, she was like, whoa, wait a minute. I was just being me, doing something silly, and it went viral. However, when you go viral, do you have something ready? And what I'm saying about this is because she had several other videos that were on her TikTok. That means they went and binged everything that was on her TikTok scroll, right? So it actually increased the numbers for all of her other videos, even stuff that was over a year old, and everything went up in less than a weekend because of that one viral moment. Are you ready, or will it cost you? Because then me, of course, I was putting the pressure saying, we have to do more videos. Let's find other ways to try to duplicate this to use the momentum. Are you ready and have a plan in place when it's time to build some more momentum when that one thing hits? Because here's the thing, I have to say to people who even do batch recording, you may want to consider batch recording if you don't do it. Because what happens is you're on there, you're trying to be consistent, and I have to help the people that are saying, this is not working, no one's liking. What's going to happen is you stay consistent. You make sure that you are findable, because the one thing that you're thinking that won't strike and won't hit, that'll be that one video. And then it's going to you need to have something else that they can go to, and don't just have that one thing out there. So I just had to mention that, Dr. Tachi, because it really can happen. It does happen all the time. And, you have to be able to pair it with your infrastructure. It's like, if that moment strike, will you be ready? Do you have those standard operating procedures in place? Do you have the systems, the funnels, the things that can handle the stuff when it comes? Or even if you don't have it, do you know who you can call to say, hey, this just happened. We need to, utilize this. Let's deal with the momentum.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for part 1 of this great conversation about Pierre Laborde, bags, viralness, your video live stream and content, and everything else we talked about in this episode. We can't wait for part 2. Right, Shawanna?
Yes, I'm excited about what's coming. So make sure you tune in, because remember, again, exposure is easy, but execution is what separates a good brand.
Oh, cheers.
Here for you. You a scope when you emotionally broke.